Among Biden's many day one executive orders was the rescinding of the 1776 Commission. The diverse 16-member commission focused on the historical challenges to our founding documents. The commission offered a survey of the origins of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, emphasizing the founding fathers' commitments to freedom, liberty, and equality. Instead of whitewashing historical injustices, the commission notes how these wrongs were inconsistent with our founding documents in the first place. Cited most by the commission were Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Frederick Douglass, both of whom argued in favor of understanding and enforcing our founders' visions. The commission advocated for more emphasis on our founding documents in schools, but was dissolved by Biden on his first day in office. With me now to discuss is a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation and author of The Plot to Change America, How Identity Politics is Dividing the Land of the Free, Mike Gonzalez. Welcome back, Mike.
Hi, Kara. How are you?
Great. So you were actually one of the 1776 commissioners. Did you expect Biden to dissolve it so quickly?
No, I must say I don't know if I'm baffled or flattered that we were such a priority. We were so anathema to the Biden White House that the inaugural speech was not even over yet, and the report was deleted from the White House website.
And I know you and several of the other commissioners as well do plan to carry on your work for the next 2 years. How do you plan to accomplish that?
Well, we're free citizens. We're going to meet. We're going to talk. We're going to already talking amongst ourselves. We take our job very seriously. History is nonpartisan. Facts are nonpartisan. I take Mr. Biden at his word when he said that we have to get away from a culture in which facts are twisted or manufactured. So we have to look at history as it happened, have a consensus on historical facts.
And what was the groundwork? What was the main goal or mission of the 1776 Commission? What do you hope people take away from it?
To go back and look at primary sources, to inspect the documents, the Constitution, the Declaration, the Federalist Papers, the Northwest Ordinance, which is very often forgotten, to look at letters, speeches, to look at newspaper articles of the time, to debate them by all means, to have disagreements and try to work out disagreements between historians with humility and in good faith, but above all, without a political agenda. It's when you approach history with a political agenda that you make the mistakes that the 1619 projects have made. And of course, Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, which, Howard Zinn was not a historian. He was a fabulist. He does not have footnotes. So to have a really fact-based approach to history.
And talk to me about this culture shift that we've been seeing as of late with the left, how they claim to be the intellectual heirs of great American greats such as Martin Luther King Jr. or Frederick Douglass. And yet those men, they believed in our founders' vision. They believed in the founding documents of this country. And they just believed that the nation had not lived up to its founding promises. But yet nowadays we see people who claim to be marching in the name of civil rights. They say that the country is inherently bad and it's corrupt down to the very core, down to the founding fathers and to what they wrote. How do you respond to that?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I'm a big believer that we should teach more Black American history. If you were to ask the average American senior in what century Frederick Douglass lived, or Booker T, or W.B. Du Bois, or Marcus Garvey, they could not praise them. That is really sad, really. But you're completely right that Frederick Douglass, I think it was in his 1852 speech on July the 4th, where he said the Constitution, which he had examined, was a liberty document. There was nothing in it that warranted slavery. The same way Martin Luther King, as you said in his speech on the Mall in 1963, said he was there to cash a promissory note, and that promissory note was the promise that all men are created equal, that was written by Jefferson in 1776. They believed this. They believed in the ideals of America, and that living up to, aspiring to, striving to live by the ideals of America was going to solve our problems. And in fact, that has been the case throughout the 240 plus year history of the United States.
And it was striking to me as I was reading your article, I believe, at the Daily Signal about the 1776 Commission, was that outlets such as CNN and USA Today tried to castigate your work as somehow racist.
Yeah, I wrote that article. that CNN article in particular was just a shameful, ignoring all tenets of journalism. You never put a word in the lead or in the headline that you later do not bother to back up in the story. And the writer of the article for CNN did not once try to point to any part of the commission's report which had been racist. I was a journalist for 20 years, including 11 of those with the Wall Street Journal overseas. 10 of those overseas. I don't recall a time like this when all the tenets of journalism are just blown up.
Is there any way to get the 1776 Commission and your work into schools? For example, we see the 1619 Project from the New York Times. They've been busy getting into schools themselves. Will this commission be able to help influence the next generation of Americans to be patriotic and to love their country?
Well, that's what we're trying to do, and we're already what we hope to do. Already, I've been contacted today by somebody in these United States that wants to introduce the product of the commission to teach young children. So I think I'm encouraged by that, and we obviously will pursue that. Edmund Burke, the founder of conservatism, said in the late 1700s, in order to love your country should be lovely. The left is very aware of that, and what they want is for generations of children to hold the country and its founding documents in contempt. We cannot allow them to do that.
Well, thank you for all of your work on that front, Mike Gonzalez, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Kara.
Thanks for watching the Heritage Foundation's YouTube channel. With more than 500,000 members, we are the nation's largest conservative research and education institution. We believe the principles and ideas of the American founding are worth conserving and renewing. Please help us further our mission by subscribing to this channel and sharing our videos with your family and friends.